Akwa Ibom State chapter of the People's Democratic Party has reiterated its commitment to encouraging more women to participate in the forthcoming local government elections scheduled for October this year. The state chairman of the PDP, Elder Anyekan Akpan, who spoke while fielding questions from newsmen yesterday at the party secretariat, Atan Ofot Uyo, stressed that the party recognizes and appreciates the important roles the women have been playing since the return of democracy in 1999. Aban, who explained that the party exempted female chairmanship and councillorship aspirants from paying fees for nomination forms as part of encouragement to them, appreciated the leader of PDP in the state, Governor Omo Eno, for insisting on inclusiveness down to the local level. According to him, women have been there for us during mobilization. During elections, you will see women queuing to vote. So why can't they be allowed to take some positions? He said that this time around, 6 females will be council chairmen. He posited that where a man is chairman of a council, a woman would be vice chairman. He said that it is a directive from the governor, the leader of the party in the state, on the possibility of their female candidates, especially chairmanship candidates, winning male candidates from opposition parties at the poll, especially the party rival, the All Progressive Congress. Aban asserted the PDP has no rival. It is the only prominent party in Akwa Ibom. We are looking at number. Everybody knows that you need to win, you need number to win an election, and we, the PDP, know that we have the numbers. The women are not really weak as people presume. Let me start with you, Zinami. What is your immediate reaction to this?
Okay. You know, the call is a very good one. It's a very good one, and it's a welcome development for the people of Akwa Ibom State, in my opinion, because the politics of Nigeria should be all-inclusive. That is my take. And every arm of every individual, every citizen should be involved, irrespective of gender. And women in politics in Nigeria has always been at the forefront of it. And so if they are called to come in and be key players, get involved in governance and decision making at the local level, I think it is a very welcome development. And I think this decision that is being taken in Akwa Ibom State is being drawn from Rivers State. This is what has happened in Rivers State under the leadership of the past governor, who is now the Minister of FCT. During his time, we saw for the very first time we had the 23 local government having 23 women as vice chairmen, and then we had at least 3 women councillors per local government, at least 3 women councillors, and it is a welcome development, and it's good for democracy. Very, very much good for democracy.
Right. What is your take, Jamala?
Chama, I think I will first let me applaud the decision of the PDP in Akwa Ibom to somehow look for a way to accommodate the female counterparts.
Accommodate?
I use the word accommodate because if you look at the slot given, it said at least 6 will be out of how many local government? They are projecting that 6 women will emerge as chairman, and for every other slot that is given to the men, a female will deputize. Now, politics per se is not all about allocation of positions to relative extent. Then I want to speak directly to the women in the sense that why should the women sit and wait to be allocated this power when they can actually, who told you that the women cannot, who told you that the women cannot take the other slot? Can't we reverse the trend like, yes, my friend and brother made allusion to the past administration where we have 23 local government manned by female vice chairmen, up to the extent of having a deputy governor, I think for the first time, female in Rivers State. But who said we cannot have 23 men as vice chairman in local government? It's because the women have not decided on their own to collect. Politics, like the former governor always say, you collect it. Even this president, the power is not given to you. You pick it up from the table. And when there are so many hands on the table, they're forced to lay their hands. And finally, we stand this pressure from other people who are dragging, because the same position we see each of these privileged office holders holding, their aides are eyeing the same position. Let's come to governor. You see several persons answering name, kitchen cabinet of the governor. But amongst that 10, at least 8 of them are looking for the opportunity to remove the governor and sit down.
Yeah.
Same with the president. Well, but just that the power for now, those who play the politics play to favor the particular person sitting there. The women can do it. It's just that the women, I know we have religious and ethnic, cultural biases that somehow limited these women from coming out. Now, the modern day politics of Nigeria is that they are nocturnal human beings. Meetings are held late midnights. And for a responsible mother, at that time of the night, going out. That's why you see sometimes I envy those men who have their women seriously advancing in politics. When you look at the activities surrounding when these decisions are made, you see that they must leave the house around 8 in the morning and come back maybe 2, 3 in the early hours of the morning, possibly leave the house again by 6. That is if they want to be relevant. Let women go out for it. Don't sit down. The same rights the men have drawn from the Constitution is the same right given to the women. And by the provisions of under the fundamental human right, there is no right of discrimination. So let's go and struggle for it. Let's not just wait, sit down, and to be allocated. Now, why should the price for forms be removed for women? Why should it be removed for them? It's like you are doing them a privilege when it is actually their right.
Well, when you say you're doing them a privilege, now, during elections, you would agree with me that women, there are women organizations that come out to agitate and say, oh, they are women are being politically marginalized. Women are not given some level of
participation?
Yes, in politics. Well, interestingly, you answered my question that I had already planned, because that was a perspective I was looking at this story. Women on themselves taking initiative and taking their destiny in their hands to do the needful. But the argument will be centered around issues like you just mentioned. You also said a responsible mother. Then you now said, on the other hand, there has to be some level of sacrifice made, correct? Now, the question would be, women have numerical strength, and that is why most people currently, when they are running for elective positions, they would rather go with they want a woman to deputize them because of the numbers, the sympathy votes that they will get from women, in quote, women supporting women, right? Now, the question would be, at what point will women come to realization that in this political game, women can actually win if they want? Because when you look at the numerical strength of women as against the men, it should tilt to favor the women. Now, you also juxtapose that with even the women in politics. Do they support each other? You recall Sarah Jibri when she wanted to vie for
the presidency.
A presidential election. She was the only one that voted for herself. But there were women that did.
Like the one women, some set of persons gather themselves as gender advocates. Those ones, I call them feminists. Now, I see them as opportunists, using an angle of the society to benefit and enrich their own personal self. Okay. Just like you said, if a man picks a lady, a woman, as a vice, and with the belief that the picking the vice, I'll get the support of the woman, are the women actually supporting the vice in the circumstance? They are supporting the man who is using the woman as a shadow. Now, women have been given, have been privileged to hold some political places. Let's look at River State. By default, nature, the one in Bonny, when the election was conducted, the local government chairman who won the election unfortunately died. And by the provisions of the law, the vice, being a lady, took over the affairs of the government. I am told, I have heard that that woman has done creditably well during the few years she held sway as the head of the local government. There are other places we can. When Etiaba was the governor of Anambra State, she did very well also. Aside few who have had national as a leadership.
Ministerial position.
Those who have done ministerial positions too, some of them have done very well. Those was an appointment. But at least for you to get to the level that you be a recognized federal, even in state, it's not these women who sit down to wait for during campaign receive
for
one.
crumbs to come to them.
Yes, you receive one wrapper and 2 cups of rice.
And go to the airport to spread the wrapper on
Yes, and sing for the
sing
whole day.
praises
Then they give you 5,000 or 3,000 and
1,000 naira.
and bottled water or pure water. Now, those are not the women we're looking at. We're looking at, let the women have the majority. And therefore, they should stop sitting backward
Alright.
and wait to be pitied upon that some slot will be allocated to them.
Alright.
If the woman comes out in unison, the men will run.
Agreed. Now, what is your take when it comes to the sense of entitlement that women, probably, would you say that most of the political docility among women is because of the entitlement they feel, and because I am a woman, it should come to me, I shouldn't work for it. While women are pushing for equality in all spheres of life, why is the case different in politics? When it comes to politics, you don't see women pushing for equality or going out there to grab it. They want it to come to them by the reason of their gender. And what can be done moving forward so women can actually actively get involved in politics?
You know, see, I don't actually believe that women sit and wait to get crumbs.
Okay.
Because why I'm thinking so is because if you look at the various traces of history around the world, you see that the politics of those nations were first dominated by men. Men were the first to go in and dominate the place. And there was this stereotype that okay, women are meant to be in the homes, managing the homes, then the man should be out and doing well now. But now we are being I don't know the word to use. We are being awakened by various organizations and groups calling for one woman right or the other. We have the feminist group, we have this group, we have that group, we have this group. Even in Nigeria, we're also talking about FIDA. Even in law, we have about what we call FIDA. We have women advocates advocating for one woman right or the other. And these women are now calling that we should be included. We should be included. And I agree with my colleague when he said that it should not be apportioned to them. They should fight for it. And that is a good call. But you see, when somebody has dominated something somewhere, it will take a lot of time for the other person to take over. And the only way the person will take over is you getting involved. In America, that has the best democracy, so to speak, quote unquote, this is the first time we had a female vice president. And probably the first time we're going to have a female president. If she wins, that's Kamala Harris. If she wins, so the women, they are getting involved. They should push harder. It's not a sense of entitlement, in my opinion, that they should be given.
When women agitate that it should be given to them. Now,
yes.
For example, in Akwa Ibom State now,
yes.
the forms are free.
Yes.
For other political parties in other states, for women pay
lesser,
very subsidized amounts for forms. Women and the disabled or specially able, they pay very subsidized amounts for forms, while the men pay for these forms in full. What's that? That's
what I just said earlier.
That's the question. The question is because women, to a large extent, have been crying out that they are being marginalized politically. The question is, who is marginalizing the women? He mentioned, in fact, one political concern. He said that most meetings are being held at night. The question is it enshrined in the party constitution? If it is not enshrined in the party constitution, and there are more women in political parties actively involved in decision making, they can actually upturn that particular modus operandi of political parties, because now they are in numbers and they have numerical strength and they participate fully. They can raise that as an issue. They can take the party to court and insist that the meetings for political parties should be done at a time that is all-inclusive, that is friendly for everybody. But because a few women are actively involved in politics, these things can hold sway and nobody can talk about it. Wouldn't you agree? You see,
I don't agree, and I will not say I agree. Now, because I said this because you know
it's the same thing. I don't agree, and I will not say I agree.
I'm neither here nor there. Is the question? No, that is what I'm going to say. Because you see, the point is that I said earlier that this system of politics was first dominated by the male. Where somebody has dominated something, it will take a lot of time for you to come and take over.
How many years after democracy?
It will take. That is the process we are going to. Now we are having women as senators. We are having women as deputy governors. Now we are having women as no. These things are portioned to them. I don't agree that it's important.
And the women that deputizing.
He called them opportunists.
Deputy governors and the people he called opportunists are not the deputies.
No, not
talking about
those advocating for women to be involved. Yes.
Because
the truth sense why I call them opportunists.
Hold on, you still have to say the truth of the matter is that their agitation comes in a season.
Yes.
Their orientation comes in a season. When it comes to the political season, they start crying. After politics, right now, who is agitating for women in politics?
You know, you see.
That's the thing. But the point here, like you said, you agree, you do not agree.
Exactly.
If you say you do not agree, what are your reasons? If you say you agree, how can you agree and not agree?
Let me explain myself.
Right.
You know, I told you earlier that the politics was first dominated by. You know, before you discuss something, you need to trace the history of what is happening. This thing has been dominated by a particular gender from the onset, from the word go. And this other set are now waking up to say, okay, we want to get involved. How can we get involved? We are pushing in. And for that reason, okay, by virtue of what they are doing, okay, let's start giving them some chances.
That's the thing.
Let's start giving them some chances.
Why can't the women go there and take the chances?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I do not subscribe to, that's the way I say I do not agree. Subscribe to let's give them some chances. Okay. But it's a welcome development. No, but I feel that the women should fight for it. But I am saying that even if they are fighting for it, it is not going to be an easy thing. Because you cannot come and claim that there should be women rights. I also claim that should be men rights. If you claim this, that's what you want to claim. If you claim women rights, I will claim men rights. And then we'll go in. Right. We say, let's talk about equality. Everybody is equal. So when you mention meeting, yes,
you're not speaking from the angle of equality because you're saying.
I'm speaking from the angle of equality.
That is being given to the women. Now the question is, as it's being given to the women, how relevant are these women? When you look at all the women deputizing, can you tell me one deputy council chairman, one deputy governor that has made waves?
Made waves.
That has handled something, but as a fact.
My learned colleague here, my learned senior here mentioned the Bonny local government chairman, which I agree that she has done well to a reasonable extent. She took over. She was opportune to take over.
The local government chairman of Bonny.
Yes.
Now I am saying.
As it then was.
At the deputies.
Yes.
Is that not a ceremonial position?
You might call it.
Is that not playing a
Choma, you see, you might call it a ceremonial position, but the fact remains that these positions, this game has been dominated by people. You cannot now say because we want to hold a meeting by 2 o'clock. You say no, we should not hold a meeting by 2 o'clock. You are not the one the deciding factor. If tomorrow you are the president,
is it enshrined in the party?
It's not enshrined. Meetings can hold anytime. If tomorrow you are the president of Nigeria, you can decide when you want to hold meeting with your people.
That's right.
So if I am the president, I decide. You cannot come and say I should not hold meeting at the time I feel that you hold meeting. So the women should get involved and take position, but they should not come and start telling us that give us a part of right. We should. I don't agree with that.
All right.
But if they are giving, no problem.
Very well.
My point of discourse or desire should come from the angle of equality. The law places us. Yes, the Bible says man was created first. That's those who believe in the story of creation on the angle of the Bible. There are those who believe otherwise. Now, if you look at it this way, men, by privilege of some certain cultures and doctrines, right from origin, has been the setting the society forward. Same with politics. But things have changed. We're looking at the number of women utilizing their numerical strength. Democracy is all about numbers, right? So if it used to be that I was responsible in allocating responsibilities for the office, and some set of persons, the office decided to say, no, let's pick a new leader. And the majority of those persons in the office believes on the strength of another person, and they vote for that person. That's the number. Even the time. Those who set the time for meetings are men, because they dominate over the female.
American.
And so even it is time for vote, they will say, let's vote for 11 p.m. The men will look at the activities, both extraneous activities, and agree with the 11 o'clock meeting that will start by maybe 12 midnight. The woman who is considering her children, husband, family issues will not, even though she raises a voice of this, it will call a dissenting voice, and therefore will not be carried. And she may likely not attend the meeting, and decisions are taken that will not even affect her own person and her gender as a group. So, yes, men dominated, but we are getting to the trend where the women, if truly there are those who advocate for women inclusivity and whatever, like you said, they are all silent. When it is political season, they come, I call them opportunities, because they use those privileges to go and bargain and receive something from certain quarters. And at the end of it, you see them, they die off. But very soon, local government elections are coming, whether it will hold, you see that groups from nowhere will be calling for equality.
All right.